see how much a table of 6 women tipped. First one, total was $51, they left $9. Second one, total of $32, $0 tip. $55, $0 tip. $60 left $6. $21 left $7, and then $23 left $4. So I am grateful for any tip, but would prefer 20%.
I'm going to shoot women some bail first, right? Because maybe the reason that they don't tip, and we're going to get into the whole tipping conversation in a second, but maybe the reason that they don't tip is because they're not used to paying for themselves.
That nigga got a point.
And so they just can't imagine the whole idea of being generous or being helpful or American culture, or they're used to being in the front seat and not driving, or they just used to being courted or taken out, or maybe even their husband taking care of everything. But the one thing that I've taught my daughter, the one thing that I've taught every single person around me is that you are an extension of me, whether it be DoorDash or you at a restaurant or anything. And my daughter's only 17 and she's very, very, very generous. Granted, it is with my money, but my point is that I'm conditioning her to be helpful, to be generous, and to actually take care of the service industry. But it is obvious, and I don't know if Black women realize it, or when they go into a restaurant, or not even just Black women, women in general, because I say Black women because that is it's proximity. It's the culture that I'm mostly around. And so I hear women talk all the time, and they'll say stuff like, oh yeah, we was in a restaurant and we was talking for 3 hours straight. We was talking for 4 hours straight. And I be thinking to myself, what conversation do you have to where you're talking for 3 to 4 hours straight? And the first thing that I say is, well, I hope you left a really, really, really good tip, because you're basically taking up that person's tables. That person knows when, Black women come in, and let's be clear, stereotypes is not given, they're earned. I believe that they're not going to get anything. There's segments of people, there's groups of people that we already know is not going to be helpful, generous. They expect everything and don't expect to give anything in return. Women, groups of women, church people, a lot of times it could be Black people. It's a lot of different segments and groups, and it doesn't exclude the fact that there are other groups that do it also. But my point is that, men usually don't have this problem. That's the one stereotype. Most of the time, regardless of whether we Black, white, or whatever, we don't have this problem because men are generous, and maybe it's just because we've been conditioned to take people out, to treat people well, and maybe we even had a father in our life.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Rome, back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. I was looking forward to reacting to this particular topic because don't y'all find it a bit funny how women complain so much about how much money a man should spend on a first date or a date in general? And you've seen videos. I order like this for myself and me and my friends. But this woman served a table of 6, and that's all she came up with in tips. You gotta be kidding me, man. Let's and Anton, yo, I don't think it's just that, bro. I'm gonna be all the way 100 with you, bro. I think a lot of these women are either just broke and cheap. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, because I want to go over a conversation that they were having about this particular topic, because he had a panel on. But before that, I also want to share another video with you guys. Let's get into it.
Working as a server, you'll quickly learn that Black people are the most annoyingly entitled people you'll ever have to deal with. I used to work at Waffle House, and this same Black lady came in every single day, and when I tell you she was the most entitled, broke person you'll ever fucking meet, she would police the entire process. She came in there every day, got a sausage, egg, and cheese grit bowl. She wanted her eggs cooked like they were made at the fucking house. She wanted her sausage burnt just the right type of way. She wanted the cheese melted just fucking right. She wanted the grits to be the perfect consistency. When she walked in every day, I would have to show her the grits to make sure she agreed with how they were made. And she wouldn't just tell me what she wanted. She would sit on the high counter right next to the cook and police the entire process. As the cook is cooking and we're in a busy ass store, she's sitting there trying to tell him specific ways he needs to be flipping the eggs, telling him to hurry up and take off the sausage before it gets cooked too much. She would always rush me every fucking day because she had to get to work. Like I give a fuck. And it's like I would be cool with all this if she ever tipped me anything. But no, nothing. She would be my most annoying customer of the day, and she never tipped me $1. No matter how fucking nice I was. Never $1. This is where I kind of started to be racist, I guess, when it comes to serving black people. I can't. I'm not gonna treat y'all as good as I treat everyone else because I know I'm gonna get treated like shit and y'all aren't gonna tip me $1. Don't get me started on if a family of black people walked in. Oh my God, I would damn near start crying. Nigga, I would ask every other server there, like, can y'all please serve this table? Please. I do not feel like it because you're so annoying. You're so fucking annoying and you're so entitled and you're so rude. And it would be okay if you're giving me some money. Because Mexicans, they are super entitled and rude as well. But you know what? They always give me a tip. You guys hate when people talk about racism and shit. But it's like, bro, it's just pattern recognition. If every black person that walks in is ghetto and treating me rude every day, then obviously I'm gonna say that black people are rude and ghetto because that's how y'all treat me every fucking day. Every black person that walked in, it never failed. And I hated it. I hated that it never failed because I would always hope to find one black person, one black family that treated me any differently, that treated me nice. But it never happened. It never did.
So if it's America's culture to, hey, you gotta to tip the waiters, that I think people that come to America, like, and you want to live in America with Americans, work with America, eat American food, I think maybe because I tip well. So it's like,
well, let me say this too, Q. Let me say this.
Like I mean, I do tip sometimes, but that's just.
Cap.
Are you in?
Let me say this. Let me say this.
I'm
not going to.
I'm not.
You know what I hate? You know what I hate when people say a lot of times, and she hasn't said this, so this isn't applicable to her, but it's in general. I hate when people say, "Well, that's not what they do in other countries." That's bullshit. That is 100% bullshit. And I haven't been to a whole lot of countries outside of the United States of America, maybe 6 or 7, right? But like, for example, they'll say, well, that's not normal in Japanese culture. Bullshit. When I was over there, they very much appreciated, loved, and they didn't ask for it, but they was like, listen, we really thank you and we really appreciate it. And we are very appreciative when people come through and they actually do this. And I was over in Bucharest. It was the same thing, right? They do appreciate it. They love it. And they 100% will tell you that, yes, it is, something that they very much appreciate and it helps them exponentially, but it doesn't necessarily mean that most people will do it there just because they cheat. That's the honest to God truth. So when people come over here and they say, oh no, this is not normal in other countries, that's bullshit. It's 100% bullshit. I don't go for that shit, and I know that people is lying to me to my face.
And you know what? I want to speak to that as somebody who spends most of his time overseas now. I'm currently in Thailand. I will say this. It's the same thing out here. It's not required. However, the difference between how grateful they are when you tip them out here in comparison to back in America and how entitled they are there, bro, it's literally the complete opposites, man. You can tip a person $2-3 here and it's gonna make their day. So I'm like, just imagine if you was tipping people here $20-30. I mean, but that's obviously because they're not making the kind of money that we're making back in America, but still. It's not required, but it is definitely appreciated. So I kind of got to agree with Anton on that one because I was thinking the same thing, and I'm always questioning this every time I enter a new country. Like, hey, how does tipping work? Are they okay with it? Is it a problem? Are they against it? Because some countries are like against it, period. However, I would make the case from my experience. Most countries, it's not required, but they're not as entitled to it as American people are. I'll say that. Let's keep it moving.
And
Well,
not even
at the end of
are
the
you
day,
in America?
Not
at the
even.
end of the day, anybody can
in
decide to
America?
do. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Are you
What'd you say?
are you in America right now? Or are you
Yeah. They moved my dad here. So I mean, at the end of the day, I hear everything that everyone is saying. It's just not something that I think that I would ever understand. And I don't think that there's anything rude with that. Like I said, if I feel like I want to tip, I will tip. If I don't feel like I'm not going to tip, I'm not going to do it.
I don't. Hold on. Let me just say this last thing.
I have a question.
Hold
I
on.
wanna
Before you ask your question, I don't see nothing wrong with the fact that she's saying that she don't want to because it's not required, right? However, I don't have any problem when people see people like this coming and they say, I don't want to wait on them. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of this or whatever. And I think that people shouldn't expect to be treated the same as other people that are more generous. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
I think when they see y'all come, I'm gonna just say this: when they see y'all coming, and this is the honest to God truth, when they see y'all coming, they be like, "Oh my God, here we go."
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's another one. And so
And I shouldn't have to suffer bad service because of it.
Don't feel some type of way about being stereotyped, and I'm sure y'all don't care.
I've never been stereotyped in my life. I have so many Black American friends, and they do tip. And sometimes they don't. It's not every time. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. Sometimes I tip more than them if I'm feeling extra generous. Sometimes they don't even tip at all. Like it's not like, I mean, I don't know.
So like let's remove the picture that you have painted about tipping, how you're going about tipping. When you're giving someone a gift, what is your intention on giving someone a gift? Like, why do you give people gifts?
If they ask me for a gift, or if I'm just like giving them for, I just give them money.
Like, what would be a reason why you would give someone a present or a gift?
Maybe to make them feel good or something.
Okay, so let's do that right there. So that's pretty much what tipping would be for these people. It's not saying that, we have to give them their wages, but it's to be generous and give to them because they were doing something nice for us, and it's just returning a nice favor to make someone feel good. We're not going to go out of the restaurant and then go grab them some flowers and then come back into a restaurant and be like, here you go, this is for you. You're just going to give what you have on you. Now, people can give people stuff if they do have something on them. Some people do that, but money is easily accessible to just hand over to somebody and say, here you go. And people will cry and they'll be like, you don't understand. I had no way to pay my light bill. That will lift up somebody's day. That will change somebody's trajectory in their life just by giving them something that you're not used to, instead of looking at it like, you're doing what the employer should be doing. It's just
Nah, like I said, no, I don't agree with that. You're supposed to bring my food. If you're supposed to be
terrible.
Your mic not working, damn it.
You're just bringing the food from the kitchen to my table. I can go do that myself. I'm not tipping.
But the point is you're doing.
You gotta understand that's her culture, so it's like
I'm not doing it. Like, I can walk to the kitchen. I can tip myself. I don't need to tip you for doing your job. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that.
Right, but
now that was a very, very bad example. However, for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but from my knowledge, I've always been, and this has been instilled for me from both of my parents, about making sure you tip well. And one of the reasons why is because servers typically don't make that much money and they tend to rely on the tips to make up the difference for their hourly rate, wage. Excuse me. So once I learned of this through my parents, because they would always take me out and they would always explain why they tipped this amount, because they always do the 10, 15, 20%. in the intro, the woman mentioned 20%, which is typically what most servers would want, because that's typically about as high as you go. And they always wanted to make sure that I knew of this, due to the fact that in general, most servers' hourly wage really isn't that high. And they're supposed to be giving you this friendly service, and they have to be, excuse me, they have to be on top of things and make sure that you're getting everything you need in a timely manner. Not to mention that they're dealing with other tables as well as you yourselves. So yeah, in my opinion, I think tipping is important. But at the same time, I think I'm starting to understand why she probably thinks this way, and it's mainly due to the fact that she's just not from here. But that doesn't really give her an excuse, because if the tables would turn, oh yeah, they gonna be on your ass as an American to make sure you doing things you supposed to do. Like here in Thailand, if you drop money on the ground, you can't step on it, so that way it doesn't blow away from you, because that's considered illegal here, because the king's face is on their money, so they look at it as you disrespecting their king. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you gotta know about certain things before you go to other countries. Let's keep it moving.
The American culture. So it's like
she's not going to
There's
change.
no reason for you to be at a restaurant at that point. If you think about it that way, you might as well just stay at home and cook. What is the point of you trying to get something conveniently?
Stay home when I go out.
Because the convenience. Because it's convenient. A lot of people don't want to do that.
Y'all understand? Y'all not gonna convince her. If that's her culture, let her get the bad service that she might get.
No, I was just
the
trying
funny
to
thing
give
is,
her
I have never received a bad service. I have literally.
You know why you haven't received bad service?
I am very polite. I'm very nice.
No, it's not about that, Izzy. But if people knew you weren't gonna tip prior to them serving you or giving you food, the service wouldn't be good.
You wouldn't.
Like after we pay, I mean, I sit there and
what?
I don't get any like.
Yeah, because they probably don't come back to the table because you guys already paid and they see that y'all guys don't tip.
Why would they have? My whole thing is that you say that it's your culture, but
I can say it's my.
I'm not seeing how that might be offensive to somebody who is American. And you're like, if I were to go to Nigeria, and I do have some Nigerian friends, I've been to the weddings. There were certain expectations and traditions that you do, and I honor that culture by doing it. But you're here in this country, and this is a cultural thing. This is something that is cultural, that benefits society and contributes to cultural cohesion. And so you're saying that you're not doing it because that's not what you did. But what if I were to come to your country and I say, well, I'm not going to do it because I don't have it? You would think that that was disrespectful. So I'm all just saying is like, have the empathy that you would want for me if I came to your country and, I had to abide by the rules instead of just saying, in America, we do it like this.
Whatever reason, Pink, you think that they care about what we think. They are.
Well, I'm just saying it makes it harder because it does erode.
They are a different breed of people. They don't give a fuck. They are here.
Well, somebody needs to put me on the planet I belong on. I'm ready to go.
They are here. Listen. They are here to get the bag and pour back into their own people. They don't give a fuck about what we got going on over here. This is the land of opportunity. That's all. When we go to other places, a lot of times we try to assimilate, right? We try to adjust to the environment. We try to respect other cultures and all of that stuff. They justify why it makes sense for them. That's it. They don't care nothing about us or our culture.
But Anton, I'm in Houston. It's a bunch of Nigerians, so I'm not gonna say that's all Nigerians, because I've hung around Nigerians that don't mind spending money, don't mind tipping, don't mind giving extra to whoever. So
no, you're talking about some of the men. You're not talking about women.
Okay, that's a good point, because I haven't hung around.
Gotcha, bitch.
And you know what? I think Anton Daniels is right. I really don't think they care. I really don't. And when you think about it, it seems to be working for them, because can you explain to me how Black Americans have less wealth than other foreigners that come over here and build wealth with their families? Think about it. If Black Americans move the same way these foreigners come over here and move, I'm telling you, Black Americans would have far more wealth. I'm telling you. I really believe that. And Pink Pill is right, because that was kind of referencing to what I was talking about earlier. It's funny because Americans seem to have such a bad rap when it comes to traveling overseas, but it seems like Americans try to assimilate to whatever countries that they go to way more than the other way around. Kind of strange, don't you think? Seems like a false narrative being pushed, if you ask me, but I could be wrong. Y'all let me know what you thought about this. I'll leave the I'll try to remember to leave the link to this particular conversation in the description if you want to check that out. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love of support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know what I'm uploading. Hit the like button, because that's what the algorithm and helps me reach a broader audience. Also look out for the travel vlog channel as well as the live show channel. Both links are in the description. Until the next video, y'all. Deuces.